Just to start out, to very quickly review what they are. And these are 5 hindrances that the Buddha says they're universal, they're non-personal, and they're forces in the mind, every human being. And when we begin to meditate, we really come in contact with them. But even if we're not meditating, we will recognize some of these forces in the mind, in the heart, in the body, that hinder us being calm, us being clear, us being settled, us being open. So just quickly, we'll review what the 5 are, and then we'll do a bit more of a deep dive into the 5th one that we're looking at. This is our second talk on the 5th one. So if anyone is brave and just wants to say what they are.
Sense desires.
Sense desire.
Ill will.
Ill will.
Sloth and torpor.
Sort of dullness and drowsiness. Sloth and torpor is a very old translation. I didn't know what those words even meant. I knew there was an animal, the sloth. Okay, so dullness and drowsiness.
Restlessness and worry.
Restlessness, and I think remorse is a better translation because it's really not good. Yeah. Anyway, yeah? Doubt. So that's the one we're looking at today. Skeptical doubt could also even be translated as uncertainty. Uncertainty. And the Buddha, in the Buddha's teachings, in the Dhamma, the doubt that the Buddha is talking about that comes up and is a hindrance, meaning something that's a barrier, a block to the mind and the body, the heart being calm and settled, specifically is doubt related to our spiritual life. Doubt about the Buddha. Was he really everything he said he was? Was he really awakened? Did he really understand reality as fully as he claims? You know, the Dhamma, is this really true? Is it really useful? Is it really helpful? And the Sangha, the community of practitioners. Have other people really been able to become enlightened? Does this really work? Are they really what they say they are? These sorts of doubts. Skepticism, a holding back. And doubt can also be a little bit more personal. It can be something that we doubt, like maybe everything's copacetic with Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, but we doubt our own practice. We doubt the instructions that we're getting. We doubt our ability. We doubt our sincerity. So this can be very crippling. And all of the 5 hindrances have an energetic quality to them, and there's a directionality to that energy. And so what would you think is the direction for the first hindrance, sense desire? Take a wild guess.
Craving.
Pardon?
Craving.
Pardon?
Craving.
Craving, yeah. And so how would that feel in the body? What direction would the energy be?
Outward.
Yeah, it's outward, and there's this grasping, and there's this pulling in. Yes, very much. It's very outward. Yeah. And what do you think would be the energetic feel or direction of ill will? Craving, we're doing this. It's a pulling. So what do you think possibly could be the energetic direction? Okay, thank you. Up pushing, definitely. So the pulling, when you're meditating, that can often feel and in the body, it can actually feel like a bit like a leaning forward. There's not just a really, really relaxed, open, settled back, calm. There's some push, it's a pull, but it's a leaning. And the push, the aversion, like, don't like it, I don't want it, I want it to be different. In the body, that can feel actually as a contraction. There's this pushing energy that we feel in the body, pushing down onto us, because our body is trying to do this. So we're kind of getting tight. And dullness and drowsiness. Take a wild guess what direction you think that energy might be felt like in the body. Down, yeah. Down. Dullness and drowsiness is this. You can watch people going down. Yeah. It's heavy. It's like a fog in the mind, like just not light, heavy and down. And so restlessness and remorse is felt like up, definitely. There's just this, and it's felt in the body, like there's, and so doubt, what direction would that be, and how would that feel in the body?
More stagnant, I guess.
For me, it's more swirling.
Swirling, yeah. So doubt is definitely this going around in circles. There's a wavering and just a around. So craving is very much a pull, and aversion is very much a push. Dullness and drowsiness is very much down, heavy in the body. Restlessness is, like agitation, a bubbling up. And doubt is very much what am I gonna do? There's it, yeah. I also want to say that doubt is actually quite a tricky hindrance to work with. And it's something I experience quite a bit. It's a hindrance I have to work with a lot. And one thing that I've realized for myself as I've really, been face to face with quite a bit of doubt, is that there's actually lots of other hindrances in there. My doubt has a lot of craving in it. There's a lot of desire for more, a desire for more evidence, more progress. There's a lot of desire for more information, more certainty. And there's also, I think this is true of all the hindrances, that craving and aversion are in them. And there's also aversion in my doubt, aversion that it's there, aversion that it's not different than it is. And that's been helpful for me to sort of dissect doubt. And because those two aspects of doubt, in my experience, are compounding the problem. They're making it more muddy, more swirly, and feeding it and giving it more energy. Yeah. And today, Sanghamitra last week talked about the first simile that the Buddha has given about doubt, that it's like a bowl of water that's muddy, and it's actually in a dark place. And the muddiness in the Buddha's simile is definitely indicating that the difficulty in getting a clear reflection of oneself and having a useful understanding of oneself and then being in a dark place, it actually, when our mind is really clouded and swirling and we just don't know, we're often quite preoccupied with our situation and our stuff, and it clouds our understanding of the context and what's around us. And I think that's captured in the dark place part. And there's another beautiful simile that the Buddha gives about doubt, and it really captures the feeling of doubt, what it feels like when this hindrance has arisen and is quite activated in our life, in our mind, in our practice. And this simile is the elaborated simile is like it's a merchant and he's on a sort of a journey. He's trying to get to a set destination. He's traveling through dangerous territory where there's bandits and, maybe not enough water, maybe not enough food, and he comes to a crossroads. It's like, oh, which way to go? So it really captures the feeling of like you're at this place. You got to make a commitment. You got to go one way or the other. You got to do something, and yet the stakes are pretty high. There's danger involved. The stakes are high. That's the feeling of doubt. And then the Buddha says, the journey is successful, and that's the feeling of the relief of once has been a decision made and you're on your way and the doubt has subsided. That's the feeling of like, safe, a feeling of safety. So today I wanted to speak about 4 antidotes. Apparently last time I said anecdotes. 4 antidotes to working with doubt. And I feel very clever. I'll start with C. The last one is a total stretch, and you will laugh at me when I say it. The first one is calm. One of the biggest issues with doubt is that it's a bit of a catch-22. There's probably a decision that needs to be made. There's a course of action that needs to be taken. And when there's doubt in the mind, the doubt is really, the mind is very compromised. The mind is not working at its optimum. What's happened in that situation is that when there's doubt and there's this swirling and there's this thinking and ruminating, is that the mud is being stirred up. So the Buddha's first antidote for doubt is to somehow access some kind of calm, like take a break, like put it on hold, realize this is not working. I'm just going around in circles. I can't even sleep, when doubt is big. So you need to somehow calm yourself down. And in meditation, it could be that you just are really firm with the mind, like not now, very soon, but not now. And you turn the mind to a meditation object that has worked for you to bring something settling. Often it's the breath. For some people it could be a body scan. For some people it could be metta. You could try all 3. Not at once, one at a time. And if it's really, really strong, you could do other things to calm down. Go for a brisk walk, maybe even go for a jog. Many people do this to clear their mind. Go in nature, take a bath, maybe listen to a Dhamma talk that was really nourishing for you, and just try many different things to just calm down and realize I'm depleting my resources here. I'm not actually. It's such a temptation because the doubt is uncomfortable. Uncertainty is so uncomfortable for the nervous system, for the human being. And there's such a desire to get this thing figured out so that I'm not feeling this anymore. And the Buddha is so right. It's so important to somehow calm down. Eat some food that's comforting, that's grounding. You know, try and get a good sleep. These are for when it's a big doubt. When there's little doubt in meditation, just understand, oh, you know, some doubt is arising. What's that about? And maybe try and put it to the side and return to the meditation object and keep the system as calm and settled as possible. The second antidote is calm and then consult. Really, really important. And this is an antidote for all 5 of the hindrances. This idea of, but it's especially true for doubt. Very, very important to consult, to get more information, get better information, get the information that you have, you know, reflected back to you with maybe a twist. Consult someone who's farther along on the path, who's wise, who's maybe had experience in this area of their life. It's again this idea of capacity demand, you know, and when doubt is up, our capacity is compromised, and so calming the mind is increasing the capacity. It's increasing the resources. Consulting with a wise friend, someone that really cares about you, that accepts you. These things are very comforting. They're reassuring, and this is again a way to expand our own capacity, to gather resources. The great expression, knowing where the watering holes are, you know, making things more chance of clarity, more chance of success. It's very, very, very helpful. The third one is confidence. You know, the opposite of doubt is faith, or sureness, confidence. And so when doubt is arising, and this would be very, very true for when we're meditating. If doubt is arising, and that could be felt like, you know, it could be a little thing like, oh, this particular meditation session, like I thought I'd figure some things out, and now they're all back again. You know, it's not like the one I just had. I mean, it can be subtle. It can be sneaky. All of the hindrances are very sneaky. Confidence, you can deliberately incline the mind to things that in your life, in your experience, have been sources of faith. In the suttas, it's just lovely. There's a description of a meditator working with all 5 of the hindrances. And when the meditator works with doubt, when the meditator attempts and succeeds, and this meditator, in abandoning doubt, and like turning the mind away from doubt, the Buddha says they are unperplexed about wholesome states of mind. This is very powerful. You know, you're maybe doubting, oh, you know, am I progressing? Can I do this? You know, are the teachings I'm getting good enough, or whatever? Doubt could be coming up, and you can just deliberately decide, I'm going to focus right now, I'm going to turn the mind to something I know for sure. I'm unperplexed. I'm unperplexed that metta, you know, benevolence for everyone, I am unperplexed. Always. I never get perplexed. that is a wholesome state of mind. So you just do that. You deliberately park on something that there's no doubt in your mind. This is a great antidote to doubt. You turn the mind to the things that you do know, that you are sure about. And many of these antidotes work for even doubt that's arising about personal issues in our lives. Another source of faith is that we turn our minds to the progress that we have experienced. We review, this can be a great source of faith, and then a great source of energy and motivation is, maybe you're doubting your ability to keep continuity of awareness on your meditation object, in daily life. And so you're doubting that instruction, you're doubting your ability to do that. And instead of just hanging out there, because you're like, oh, this is all like murky and I'm unsure and I don't feel that great right now thinking about this. Remember, I'm in doubt, and that's a hindrance. It's not a good place for my mind to hang out. So then review things teachings that you have embraced and how that's worked, how that's felt. Do a review of, wow, I used to be pretty complaining and I'm not so much like that anymore. Or I used to be quite anxious and that's getting better. These are things that are sources of faith. There's a great sutta in the Majjhima Nikaya, in the middle length discourses of the Buddha, and it's a beautiful description of the whole path, the gradual training. But before the Buddha gets to this description of the gradual training, he gives a simile of an elephant trainer, the king's elephant trainer, training an elephant, and then he parallels how it's just like training an elephant. For us, we're training an elephant. We're training our mind, and it's a wild elephant to start, and then bit by bit, very gradually, one thing at a time. But there's this beautiful thing toward the beginning, after the wild elephant gets captured, and the elephant trainer is beginning to have a relationship with this wild elephant and beginning to train it, which is what we're doing. We're the elephant trainer, and our mind is the wild elephant. And this is Majjhima Nikaya Sutta 125. The elephant tamer, this is us, addresses the elephant, that's our heart mind, with words that are gentle, pleasing to the ear, and lovable, as go to the heart, and courteous, desired by many and agreeable to many. When the forest elephant, the wild elephant, is addressed by such words, he listens, gives ear, and exerts his mind to understand. Beautiful relationship of what to do when our mind is wild. The elephant tamer next rewards the elephant with grass fodder and water. This is the part that is significant for us, I think, in dealing with doubt. When the forest elephant accepts the grass fodder and water from the elephant tamer knows, now the king's elephant will live. And I think it's indicating, as soon as we've had just a taste of change, of improvement, of expansion from following the Buddha's teachings, basically we're hooked. We're set. It's going to work. We can walk the path, and we can return to that many times. I know Sanghamita does a lot. Like the benefit that I've received from the teachings. And it's incredible uplift for the mind heart. It's motivating. It's very, very, very wholesome. The Buddha is encouraging us to do that all the time. It's not prideful. It's not selfish. It's super wholesome, and it's a great antidote to doubt. And the last C, which is a total stretch, is the classic instruction for doubt, on the wrong side, is investigation. And I just want to say, as someone who struggles with doubt incredibly, I want to give everyone a heads up, a warning about this instruction. It's taken me a long time to understand it. I've tried and tried, and I think I really misunderstood. I think that I was just keeping on stirring up the mud in the bowl. I just kept, I got to investigate. And I just kept honestly going around and around in circles. I now understand this instruction. Don't investigate your doubt. Don't investigate the thing that you're doubting. You have to put doubt to the side and make a decision. Okay, I'm going to investigate something in the Dhamma, something in the teachings, something that I've read, so that I can get more confidence and more faith in these instructions and get resourced. And then I can go to my doubt. It's not investigate the doubt. It's investigate the Dhamma. And then return to whatever you're doubting, wherever there's indecision. It's ahipasiko. This is a Pali word for come and see. So I'm just sharing that. That's how I'm now taking this investigate, because I think I've spun my wheels a lot, and now when I investigate something, turn the mind to be unperplexed about wholesome states of mind. When I review benefit I've received from the Dhamma, this is a much more helpful way of investigation, and then return to the doubt. And usually I need to consult and calm. So ahipasiko, come and see. But don't spend too long investigating the doubt, because what you're doing is re-stirring up the mud and keeping things muddy. Yeah. So that's what I wanted to share today about doubt. And I'd love to open it up for...
And how about sharing that position that's helpful to you?
Oh, yeah, thanks. So for calm, there is a position, a physical position that is useful, and it's very easy, and you do it for a couple minutes. So we can do that right now. So what you do is similar to Silka, but probably the other way. You put your left, you extend your legs, and in a chair, it's great, just sitting in the chair. Extend your legs and put your left ankle over your right ankle. And then you put your arms in front of you, and you cross your right arm over your left, and now you just turn so that your thumbs go down, and do this, and then you bring it through, and don't do it, and then put it on your thalamus. Put it on your thalamus, right here on your chest, and just hang out for a couple of minutes, breathing. Ding. I do find that calming. So, and you might find other things. This is just to calm the nervous system and again to increase resources. Does anyone have any questions or comments or anecdotes? Sarah, please.
There's one way of considering the classical instruction of investigation that applies to not only doubt but all of the hindrances is seeing them in the light of the 4 foundations of mindfulness. So just seeing that the doubt is a hindrance, as described in the way of mental, it's just mental phenomena. And sometimes that's enough.
Mm-hmm.
That's enough investigation to be able to put it aside, because you've established that it's not personal, it's just mental phenomena. I think that's a very effective way to quickly transcend any hindrance, rather than looking into the causes
Right,
of the
just to
hindrance.
recognize what it is, yes.
Yeah.
And not resist it. Yeah. Yeah.
When you were talking about how being in doubt and going around and around and around, one wants to move out of that. I remember hearing a phrase, or it came to me, I think I must have heard it from somewhere else, that, oh hi, that was, went straight into the mind very nicely. It was this, if thinking could have fixed this problem, it would have done it a long time
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah, it was very
That's
helpful.
so great.
It's like, you know, it was like, yeah, just going around and around. This
Yeah.
rumination.
Yeah.
Is
Yeah.
very, very harmful to the
Yeah.
mind. And
Yeah.
this mind did a lot of it, has done a lot of it.
Yeah.
As many people do.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking could have solved this
Problem. It
problem.
would have done it
Would
a
have
long
done
time
it
ago.
a long time ago. Beautiful. Oh my gosh. So true. Yeah. I listened to a short talk by Ajahn Sona, and he had this beautiful thing that many of the things that we, what should I do, and I don't know, and da-da-da. Many of these things, his description was many of these things actually just need to be dissolved, not solved, just dissolved. Just relax, lean into confidence. Yeah, there's this challenge in our lives that we're constantly, as a human being asked to move, every minute of every day, really, in many ways, if we're really honest, move into uncertainty. We constantly have to do it. And so you have to find some balance. If you're just constantly a lot of skeptical doubt, it's very unsatisfying and will wear you out. Dissolved rather than solved. At my parents' 50th wedding anniversary, my father made a speech, and he shared when they were getting married, they had decided that my mother would make all the small decisions, and this is anyway. Anyway, and he would make all the big decisions. But then it was great what he said, and he goes, and so far there haven't been any big decisions.
Yeah, when I'm stuck in that analysis paralysis,
and just recognizing the suffering I'm causing myself.
Yeah.
You know, it's like this is suffering, and it's self-induced, and it's very uncomfortable, and yeah. So the skillful, you know, just trying to skillfully get out of that. You know.
And that's recognizing you're holding the hot coal and it's burning your
It's
hands.
burning. It's
Yeah.
really burning. Yeah, yeah.
And it takes us really becoming convinced of what Bodhipala is saying. I mean, becoming convinced that this is non-productive. Because there's such a desire. If I just think about it one more time, then I'll get it figured out. Yeah, it's very strong habit energy. And we live in a culture that's very heady, you know, lots and lots of thinking and so much information bombarded. Yeah.
Sometimes I find it helpful to look at like the conditions which sparked the arising. You know, so sort of like the dependent origination, right? So like looking at, well, what sparked this doubt to arise? And then if I can not take part in that thing that caused the doubt to arise, then it won't arise, right? So that's sometimes helpful.
Excellent. Thank you everyone so much for sharing. And
Is it timed?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll read it from Metta.
oh, great. Okay. We're at time, so we will.
So we're going to use the Brahma Vihara of Metta, loving friendliness, to end. May you be well. May you be happy. May you be peaceful. May you be loving. May you feel ease. May you be safe. May no problems come to you. May no difficulties come to you. May no harm come to you. May you meet with spiritual success. May you have the patience, the courage, the strength, the determination, the inner clarity and the wisdom to meet and overcome the inevitable problems in life, to meet and overcome the inevitable difficulties in life, to meet and overcome the inevitable frustrations in life, and to meet and overcome the inevitable failures in life. May the whole of our hearts be filled with loving friendliness. May every cell of our bodies be filled with loving friendliness. May every level of our consciousness be purified by loving friendliness. May we build a healthy, happy aura of loving friendliness all around us, through which no evil thought, word, or intention, or any form of harm may penetrate, but from which loving friendliness may radiate in all directions, and may we be protected. May the merit of our practice be shared with all sentient beings, named and unnamed. Lynn,
Swati,
Lise,
Vicky,
Claire,
Karina,
Therese, Russell.
Scott.
May all beings be well and happy.